Hello and welcome to Yorkshire Voice on Friday, May the 18th. I'm Tanya Jackier.
And I'm Aston Lamb. Here's what's making today's news.
The youngest Lord Mayor of Sheffield wants to put his focus on the youth and get them involved in political matters.
A takeaway shop in Headingley has invited the royal couple to his shop as Prince Harry has never tasted kebabs before.
And a bookstore in Bradford is trying to promote reading by giving free books.
Shocking new figures from the Home Office show that firefighters in West Yorkshire are called out on an average of around one arson case per hour last year.
The statistics show a considerable rise across the country from those recorded in 2016, and West Yorkshire experienced more than the national average. Alex Smith reports from Leeds Fire Station.
Leeds Fire Station appears unusually quiet this morning, but this isn't always the case. New figures released by the Home Office show that in 2017 the number of deliberate fires that West Yorkshire Fire Service attended rose by 12.5%. This meant firefighters were attending an average of one every 75 minutes.
It does pose as a problem. Around about 5,000 of those incidents that we attended last year were just small, what we call secondary fires, and that can include bits of rubbish that are left in the streets, grass that's set on fire deliberately, wheelie bins and skips, so larger bits of rubbish. These take our operational crews away from dealing with prevention activity and protection activity. We'd rather spend our time stopping fires happening than dealing with nuisance fires. It also stops them from responding to more major incidents. So our arson figures are a concern to us, and we have seen them rising over the last few years.
Although the majority of deliberate fires attended were relatively minor nuisance fires, the data shows that they resulted in 4 deaths and 89 injuries.
People who may choose to set fires to bits of rubbish in the street, they need to understand that in doing that they're going to tie up a fire service resource. We're going to have a fire engine there dealing with that small nuisance fire, and then they're not available to attend a more serious fire. So people need to understand that message.
So far in 2018, it seems that the considerable rise in figures from 2017 was an outlier. The sharp increase seen last April has not been felt this year. Reasons for the increase are unclear, but could be due to a number of factors, such as car thefts or austerity cuts to rubbish collection. The fire service and people across the country will be hoping that we don't see a similar rise in the near future. Alex Smith for Yorkshire Voice.
Newly appointed Lord Mayor of Sheffield, Majid Majid, is focusing on helping the younger generation to get involved with politics.
He's the youngest man to take over the role and has said that he is honoured and privileged to be given the highest honour in the city. Melissa Zinzi went out to meet him earlier.
It's quite surreal, to be honest. Yeah. But you know what it's like? I'm not doing any different. I'm just being myself. This is literally just it. And I could have just conformed and just tried to fit in with all the what people expect when they see a Lord Mayor. But I just thought, no, I'm literally just going to be myself, and that's it. And here we are today.
So your message would be, what would the one message that you want to let the young people know, or just the general public? What one message do you have for them?
You know, honestly, and I think, again, just coming back to Sheffield, I'm sure it's the case with so many other places around the world, but literally just, I guess just we just love courage and opportunity. Literally anything is possible. I'm here today just by that notion alone. And if I can just let as much, literally just inspires many young people to say literally anything is possible. I think, that's probably it.
Boxing fever has hit Leeds. Our own Josh Warrington is ready for the big fight at home of his beloved Leeds United at Ellen Road.
Yes, he will be fighting to claim the title from current holder Lee Selby for the IBF World Featherweight Champion. Our sports reporter Simon Crowe joined the crowds at Millennium Square.
I'm currently in Millennium Square as part of the build to the big fight this weekend at Ellen Road. The IBF World Featherweight Championship is going to take place, which is going to be Lee Selby taking on challenger Josh Warrington. Josh Warrington is currently in his hometown Leeds, so the crowd is right behind him here, and we're just about to see the weigh-in now.
Come to the scale, the challenger. He is the #1 ranked contender in the world by the IBF. He is undefeated with 26 wins. 6 of his wins come by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, from right here, Leeds, England, here is Josh, the Leeds Warrior Warrington. 8 stone, 12 pounds, 14 ounces.
Come on, Lee!
Lee Selby is currently leaving behind me, as you can see, and he hasn't got that much of a warm welcome here in Yorkshire. The fans of Josh Warrington preparing to hit the car that he's going into. I think security is stepping in there. The atmosphere in Millennium Square this afternoon was electric and gives us a little bit of a glimpse of what to expect come tomorrow night at Ellen Road when the pair face off. That's Simon Crowe reporting for Yorkshire Voice.
Around 15% of adults in England can be described as functionally illiterate, according to the National Literacy Trust.
A bookstore in Bradford is determined to improve the literacy rates of the city by giving away free books. Melissa Zinzi reports.
A bookstore in Bradford is determined to get people reading by giving away free books. GET is serious about tackling illiteracy in the UK.
These books are donated from individuals and from organisations. We have Bring a Book to Work Day, for example, in certain organisations, and people will just literally bring a spare book to work and drop it in the box, and we collect it and bring it into these shops. You may be aware that there's a World Literacy League table, and the UK has just dropped down that table quite alarmingly. People don't read like they used to read, and there are still people coming out of schools functionally illiterate. And one of the excuses that people give for not reading is that they don't have access to books. They can't afford books. You know, a lot of families out there are vulnerable and in a difficult position. They can hardly even afford to feed themselves, let alone go into one of the regular bookshops every Saturday and buy themselves a book. So we make reading freely available to everybody in the community. We rely on the generosity of volunteers to give up their time and come into the shops and do all the organising and the staffing and the manning of the shop. And our volunteers are just amazing people. They, like I say, give up their time, they give it up freely, they come into the shop, they sort things out, categorise things, and literally man the shop.
Communities in Bradford are being offered the opportunity to get free books for themselves and exchange new ones. Melissa Zinzi, Yorkshire Voice.
And this weekend is on everybody's mind, from the royal wedding of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle to the FA Cup final between Man United and Chelsea.
We wanted to know who will be tuning in to what, so we sent our reporters Katie Hazeldine and Tyler Morrell to find out more.
So tomorrow's the day that everyone's been waiting for, but some people have been waiting for the royal wedding.
And some people have been waiting for the FA Cup final.
So we've come down to Horsforth Town Street to find out what everyone's going to be tuning into tomorrow.
Are you going to be watching the royal wedding or the FA Cup tomorrow?
Royal wedding.
Royal wedding?
Yes, royal wedding. Really.
Feel free to pop the party poppers.
Woo!
Yeah. Will you be watching the FA Cup final or the royal wedding?
We're going to go for the FA Cup because football is for life and weddings are for weekends.
So, what are you going to be watching this weekend? The royal wedding or the FA Cup?
The FA Cup.
And who are you going to support?
Man United.
Sit down.
So are you going to be watching the royal wedding this weekend or the FA Cup? The royal wedding.
Are you watching the royal wedding or the FA Cup?
The FA Cup.
And who are you going to support?
Chelsea.
What are you watching tomorrow? Are you going to watch the FA Cup or the royal wedding?
FA Cup 100.
And who are you going to watch? Who are you going to support? Sorry.
Man United. Yeah.
Well, by our calculations, we've got a nation divided. Half of us are going to be watching the FA Cup with Man U and Chelsea, and the other half are going to be watching the royal wedding.
Let us know what you'll be watching. This is Katie Hazeldine
and Tyler Morrell
for the Yorkshire Voice.
A takeaway shop in Headingley are embracing the royal wedding this weekend and inviting the royal couple to visit.
Prince Harry recently revealed he had never eaten a kebab. Our reporter Ian Molyneux spoke to owner Paul Barron to find out how he plans to change this.
The Otley Road in Headingley, synonymous with drunken stag and hen do's, student partying and late night takeaways. However, one takeaway is turning the industry on its head. I Am Donna prides itself on its high standards and fresh ingredients, and they are getting in the spirit of the royal wedding this weekend. Both Harry and I Am Donna support the World Child Foundation, so owner Paul is sending a personal invitation to Harry and Meghan at Windsor Castle to pop in for a free kebab.
We came across
a beautiful video of Prince Harry being interviewed at the Well Child Awards, and where he confessed to never having kind of doner kebab in his life, and being in a group of people who eat doner kebabs 3 times a day, we thought it was criminal. We thought we had to change this, so we put together a voucher. We sent it off to the castle, and there you go. That's how it came about. It would be great to gain some momentum behind it. I don't know how we're going to go about that, but we've put it out there. It's a beautiful voucher. He's going to look at it. Obviously, it's a long shot. It'd be a dream to have the royal couple come to Headingley, wouldn't it? But don't know. It needs more momentum behind it, I think, doesn't it? But I think if a royal was to choose a doner kebab, then it would have to be ours. I like to think the revolution is also about making fantastic kebabs as well as giving our part back to the community as well. Each one of our kebabs has an average of 53 ingredients inside it. A lot of time, as you can see behind me, from the early hours of the morning, we're coming in, we're making our own breads, we're making our own sauces, we're preparing our own meats, and everything is made from scratch. I shouldn't say it because I'll get in trouble, but it's the king of kebabs, fit for a king or a prince maybe. A little spot of dinner for you, sir. You kebab here?
Thank you very much.
Have an awesome day, man. Thank you very much.
This is Ian Molyneux reporting for Yorkshire Voice.
So someone else who might be wearing one of these hats tomorrow and is looking forward to the wedding of the year is royal fanatic Helena Watkins, and she joins us now.
Nice. Welcome to Yorkshire Voice. So when did you start getting into collecting royal memorabilia?
Well, some items got handed down over the years. This used for many years, which relates to the wedding, the coronation that never took place for Edward VIII in 1937. Of course, he abdicated and his brother became king instead. That hung for many years in a cabinet of my grand's, my mum's mum, and it was passed to her after my gran died. My mum had another couple of items in the sideboard at home. I couldn't bring everything here, sadly. I was given this when I was at primary school. There's only about 150 of these in existence from the Silver Jubilee in 1977. Mum and I collected a few items before she died, and then the other items I have with me are items I've bought since the internet has exploded and one can buy things on various websites.
So what is it that you love so much about the royals?
I think the continuity of service and the neutrality that provides at the upper layer of our government is very good from a constitutional point of view. We don't have, two tiers of political arrangements which ends up in stalemate, as you do get in European countries and the United States, for example, and it provides the continuity of service from one monarch for many years to another for many years, provides the country with an example of service to itself for everyone to see, rather.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's this plate about? When did you get that?
Well, this was the most recent addition to my collection, well, the youngest as far as when it was made, certainly, and it relates to the wedding of Prince Harry's elder brother, Prince William, in 2011. Obviously, the photographs are from after the event, as you can see. I have seen things that have been generated before with commemorating the wedding. I'm hoping to get something similar following tomorrow's event.
Thank you very much for coming in. That's lovely. And
that's it for today.
Now.
Bye-bye.